Okay, let's dive in. Today we're doing something a little different. We're looking at a source you might not expect.
Right. Not a dense academic paper this time.
No, it's actually, well, it's a real estate listing.
And these can be surprisingly revealing, can't they? About, lifestyle aspirations and what people value in a home right now.
Exactly. So our source is basically excerpts from this listing titled Ranch Estate with Guest House and Workshop. Pretty straightforward title.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission here is just to understand the picture it paints. What makes this property unique? What possibilities does it suggest based only on the words used in the description?
Okay. And right off the bat, it points to something specific. It mentions 2 acres, unrestricted.
Yeah, that unrestricted jumps out, doesn't
It
it?
really does. That immediately tells you it's outside typical suburban rules. Opens up a lot more potential uses.
Sits a different stage. And beyond the land, the key things mentioned are a main house, a separate guest house. They actually call it a barndominium.
Ah, the barndo.
Yeah. A big workshop and these like resort-style outdoor features.
And the description seems to really lean into themes of luxury, tranquility, but also versatility.
Definitely. Let's dig into some specifics because they give numbers. The main house, over 3,800 square feet.
That's substantial. That's a big home.
Right. And it mentions things like a dedicated home office, oversized garage, even climate-controlled storage. So designed for a full life.
Accommodating complexity, perhaps? Yeah.
But like you said, there's more. That separate barndominium guest house
Which they describe as a world of its own.
at 1,250 square feet. I mean, that's bigger than plenty of apartments.
Absolutely. And it apparently has its own workspace, its own garage area, and storage.
So not just a guest room,
No, definitely not just an in-law suite tacked on. That size, the separate functions, it really points towards, well, genuinely independent living on the same property.
which the source links to what? Multi-generational families.
Yeah, or potentially, as it suggests, a short-term rental investment, a high-end rental potential.
Okay, that makes sense with that kind of space and independence. And then there's the workshop.
The 50 by 60-foot workshop, that's considerable.
Seriously, that's way beyond a weekend hobby shed.
Right. The description says it offers many possibilities, but then it gets specific. It links it to that unrestricted land,
Saying you can bring RVs, animals.
or even run your business just outside your front door.
Wow. Okay, so that combination, the workshop scale and the unrestricted zoning that signals space for, like, serious hobbies, or maybe even actual small-scale commercial stuff.
Exactly. It points to a lifestyle where work or major hobbies aren't necessarily separate. They're integrated right there at home.
And they also paint a picture of the leisure side, right? The outdoor space.
Mm-hmm. Hill country resort style, I think was the
Right.
phrase. Pool, fire pit, covered grilling spot, big covered porch.
So it's trying to sell both sides of the coin.
It seems like it. The relaxation, the luxury, the escape, but right alongside the capacity for, serious work or creative stuff or having extended family in their own space.
It uses phrases like meticulously designed, modern finishes, artful details.
Yeah, trying to convey quality. And it sums it up by promising endless possibilities in that blend of luxury and tranquility.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap the key takeaways from this description. First, the sheer scale.
Right. Over 3,800 Esquif main house, that 1,250 Esquif separate barndo, and the 50 by 60 workshop. Huge spaces.
And second, how these features directly support the uses the listing highlights.
Like the multi-generational living or the rental potential from the barn.
Or the series hobbies, animals, maybe even home business, thanks to the workshop and that unrestricted land.
It really leans into offering, as it says, endless possibilities, that specific mix.
Luxury and tranquility meets function and freedom.
Something like that, yeah.
So, wrapping this up, here's something to think about based just on what this listing suggests. We live in a time where home often has to be an office, a school, a retreat, maybe hold multiple generations or support big passions.
Mm.
So when you see a property described like this one, with this particular mix of comfortable living space, plus substantial dedicated workspace, plus the freedom of unrestricted land, what does that tell you about how our idea of home might be shifting, how we're trying to maybe integrate all these different parts of life in one place?